At the end of the day, boom. At the end of the day, listen, people who are afraid to drop content and lock in, they're worried about other people's opinion. They're afraid of other people's judgment instead of being afraid of the Most High's judgment. They don't care about the Most High's judgment. They care about the local people in their community's judgment. Listen, that's going to keep you stuck. If you want to elevate, listen, you have to have the pinky in the brain's mindset. No matter how many times it fails, no matter how many people don't view the video, you still keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Pinky in the brain was the most masculine mindset there is to masculinity. At the end of the day, listen, how are you going to get in shape if you're not in shape? You have to keep staying locked into the gym over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You don't go out to the dating game with the pinky in the brain's mindset. No, you don't play games at all. Listen, screw the dating game. Don't date ever again. As a wise man who's telling you right now, don't date ever again. Save yourself, save your entire self, your body parts, your energy, your sexual energy. Save all of that for your future wife, your future kids. Listen, you don't want to get married and have to use hymns to get it up because you played the dating game. You smashed over 300 women in your life. You smashed 3,000 women in your life. So now they was telling you the man, but now you 30 years old, you got a wife, and now it can't get up. You need hymns. At the end of the day, a lot of broken homes are caused because guys can't even afford condoms. Listen, condoms went up $6 now. So most guys have $0. They need to release stress. So they're gonna smash raw diggity dog. No, you stop playing that game at once. Listen, you have to learn how to lock in for long term. You have to lock in the long term. You have to play the long term lock in game. Don't lock in for 3 years, then stop. No, lock in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. At the end of the day, you lock in. Listen, I'm going to be in shape till I'm 120 years old. If God keeps me alive for 120 years, listen, I'm going to be in shape, walking around looking like a bodybuilder at 120 years old with no steroids. At the end of the day, it's called locking in for life. At the end of the day, if you want to be a content creator, you have to learn how to lock in. Don't lock into what DDG's doing. Well, if you're a content creator, listen, that's content. But listen, don't lock in and try to be like your favorite celebrity. No, lock in. Focus on the end result. If you keep the end game in mind, if you keep the end result in mind, guess what? You'll stay focused. If you keep 10 years of retention in mind, at the end of the day, you're not going to go out after 180 days. You're not going to go out on day 260 to an OnlyFans model. You're not going to go out on day 260 to a woman's crack in between her legs. At the end of the day, get from in between these women's legs. These are not your wives. Listen, this is going to be called Lust Equals Division 2. This is part 2. Lust Equals Division part 2. Listen, lust is going to make you hate women because you're going to go around women that overlook you because that's the woman that you're lusting after the most. She's showing the most flesh. Wow. You're in a relationship with a woman who showed you the most flesh? That's pretty middle school. At the end of the day, you have to control your lust. Your lust is the divide. There's no such thing as a gender war. The only gender war is between OnlyFans models and red pill coaches. That's the only gender war. When women come on these podcasts talking about men, they're talking about the red pill coaches and the people who believe in red pill ideology. versus the OnlyFans models and the strippers and the promiscuous women. At the end of the day, that has nothing to do with us. We are not a part of the problem. We're not out here smashing these women. So guess what? 20 years down the line, we're successful. We're not going to get a call talking about, oh, in 2020, old girl said that you touched her, and now you got to go to court. They want to see you on the 23rd. Listen, at the end of the day, that all could have been avoided if you weren't listening to guys like Steph is So Cold. These guys are bitter. They got hurt before. You're listening to hurt people. That's like a virtuous woman listening and taking advice from a woman who's been gutted out like a fish by 99 other guys who will never take them serious. That's what red pill coaches are like. You guys have to see through this, but you can't see through this because you're too busy lusting. You guys cannot see through this because you're too focused and invested and obsessed with women you're not married to. Imagine being obsessed to a woman down the street you don't even want to marry. Imagine being obsessed to a woman's body part, not even her. You're obsessed to her body. Her body's not talking to you, she's talking to you. At the end of the day, listen, stop treating people like objects, because once you treat them like objects, you don't know that they're setting a play on you because you're treating them like an object. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, all right. You keep trying to smash her insides, it's going to come back to haunt you. I repeat, you keep trying to smash her insides. When you end up on child support, it's going to come back to haunt you. 70%. They're taking 70% in America. How are you going to get to Morocco if you're losing 70%? How are you going to be able to afford Switzerland if they're taking 70%? How are you going to be able to afford Brazil if they're taking 70%? How are you going to be able to afford private tutors for your children if they're taking 70%? At the end of the day, the only men who go after single mothers are lustful men. The only people who go after women, period, are lustful men. At the end of the day, you should be so locked in. Once you feel like you need to pass your genes on to the next generation, that's when you impregnate a woman. At the end of the day, that's when you find your wife. Not because a Steph is So Cold told you to play the dating game and you just had to settle with the woman in your nearest local city. At the end of the day, stop having a local mindset. You're from America and your wife is from America too, and they don't even value love in America. They value casual dating and fake gender wars. There's no such thing as a gender war. At the end of the day, I don't care about what women are saying online. Those are not my future wives. Do you think it's going to be a gender war against my future wife? No, it's not. At the end of the day, they want you to debate with OnlyFans models. Well, you still love that guy. You still love that guy. That's what happened. Mr. Organic talking about, oh, you still love that guy. You still love that guy. They're throwing water bottles at you. They don't respect you. At the end of the day, why are you debating with a 26-year-old OnlyFans model at the age of 47 years old? A 27-year-old OnlyFans model. What in the heliante are you doing with your life? To the point you have to be somewhere on somebody else's podcast. Listen, this is why I say no collabs. When I get 100K, I'm not collabing. I'm not going on Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit, they can keep their warlock agendas Fresh and Fit way. At the end of the day, listen, I'm going to be in shape and I'm going to be fresh. So at the end of the day, why do I got to go on a podcast talking about Fresh and Fit? They're not even talking about fresh women. They're talking about used women. They're talking about women who got damaged emotionally and emotionally abused. They've been used before by a lot of horny men. What's fresh and fit about that? Listen, they're not even bringing in-shape women on a podcast. In-shape virtuous women that cover up. They're not doing that. Every woman on their podcast showing breasts, they're showing cleavage, they're wearing tight, skimpy clothes because they know right after the show is gonna be a guy on the Fresh and Fit podcast that's gonna be like, hey, can I get your number? Even though I disrespected you, even though I embarrassed you in front of the whole world, can I get your number? At the end of the day, you don't have to be like this. At the end of the day, you don't have to dodge water bottles. At the end of the day, you don't have to dodge and run out the building from women who is 5'9" at the age of 27. Listen, it's called focus on your future wife and your future family. If you focus on your future wife and your future family, you're going to run up the numbers. You're going to run up the multi-millions. You're going to run up the real estate portfolios. You're going to run up the supercars that you own. Listen, I'm trying to pass down Lambos to my future children. I'm trying to pass down Ferraris to my future children. I'm trying to pass down Corvette C8s to my future children. At the end of the day, if you playing a dating game, you're not passing down anything but your seed to multiple women. So now by that time, since you smashed 3,000 women, you have no vitality. You have no force. You don't have a force in life. The reason you're complaining about women is because you have zero force in life. You had zero force in life to stay focused on a mission. You had zero force in life to focus on your own future family. You're worried about an OnlyFans model that gave her body to 87 other guys, to 127 other guys. Listen, at the end of the day, that's not the woman you focus on. The woman showing cleavage and camel toe, that's not the woman you want. That's the woman that been emotionally abused before, emotionally damaged. She's emotionally defeated. She's defeated in the spiritual realm. So listen, at the end of the day, she turned into Storm. And all she's going to bring you is rainy clouds and stormy nights. I repeat, these women who've been nutted on before, listen, they're turned into Storm. And all they can offer you is stormy days and stormy nights. At the end of the day, flee from all temptation. Focus on your future family, your future wife that will actually respect you, that will actually respect your manhood, that will actually see you as a human being and not like the rest of the 98% of guys out here. Listen, all women are not the same. But when you focus on all women, when you lust after women, see what happens is now you got to get into the gender war because old girl down the street said this about men. And old girl down this street said this about men. Now you beefing with random women that you don't even know that you won't marry. You won't even buy them $1 million ring. Listen, my wife getting $1 million ring. You wouldn't even gift them $1 million ring. At the end of the day, why would you care about something you not willing to invest in? Why would you, bruh? Listen, you got to understand. Stop trying to be weak, bro. All dating coaches are weak. I repeat, dating is for mentally destroyed people. Dating is for people who have no fight left in them. Dating is for people, oh, I got to use somebody else to get to the top. That's their mindset. Let them date. At the end of the day, there is zero dating this way. We focused on our future wife, our future children. At the end of the day, what everybody else have to do with us? Listen, that's the problem in America. American men are not leaders. They're followers. You got to follow with the dating. You got to follow AMS. You got to follow Mr. Organic. He's going to get you set up. You're going to get the mansion just like Mr. Organic. And you're going to bring an OnlyFans model back to the mansion that you don't know. You don't know she got 300 bodies, but she only told you she got 70. She's been emotionally defeated 300 times by 300 other guys who are lying and have lust problems. So no wonder she thinks everybody else has lust. She's going to set you up. She think you like the rest of the 300 guys. She ran into 300 lustful men in a row. I repeat, she ran into 300 lustful men in a row. And then here you come, 301. Yeah, you can go back to the mansion. You feel me? I got the red, orange, and green beard. At the end of the day, you're not that guy. At the end of the day, Mr. Organic, he's trying to fit in. At the end of the day, listen, once you're 10 toes and you locked in, you so locked in, there's no collabs. You so locked in, I repeat, there's no collabs. Why would you want to collab? Collab invites disrespect. They're going to play your face. I repeat, they're going to play your face. At the end of the day, dating invites disrespect. They're going to step on you in the end time. They're going to step on you in the long run. Listen, you think you winning? Oh, they going to step on you. At the end of the day, they probably already smashing 4 other dudes because they think you have less problem. They think you're not going to work out just like the last guys didn't work out. At the end of the day, dating is for unattractive people who don't believe that there's better things to life. I repeat, dating is for unattractive people. At the end of the day, if you're attractive, you're going to create content and you're going to stay focused and you're going to lock in. At the end of the day, Monk Mode Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro.